Hello YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make a video on Fallout and how to duplicate Nuka Cola Quantums. So this is similar to my duplication of the fusion cores, if you've seen that one. But I thought, I was looking around to see if there's a better way to try and get Nuka Cola Quantums. I went back to Nuka World and just sort of went to the various places to obviously the bottle plant was where I started. There's a couple in some of the other kingdoms, sort of kitty kingdom. So make sure that you go back and look for the quantums there if you haven't picked them up. Definitely in the kitty kingdom in the underground tunnels, I found probably 3 or 4. So definitely if you didn't clear it out like I did, I just kind of went through it quickly looking for Waldo or whatever his name was, but I didn't actually clear it out. I definitely found 3 there. In the Gulch, there's a TV at the back by the Anaconda. It's kind of the back west, I guess, corner. There's a TV with 2 quantum on it. Go get that. They say there's at least 11 in the bottle plants, so I found 5 that I'd missed. So again, check those out before you do that. But this process is pretty tedious. I mean, it's not going to be a quick duplication, unfortunately. I think my success rate is probably around 1 bottle per minute, give or take, depending how you do it. So what I do is I put 10 bottles on at a time, and then I just run them through. So I'm kind of doing this really because I want to fill up a bathtub full of bottles, and I think I need at least 100, if not more. So I'm going to try and duplicate 100 bottles of Nuka Cola Quantum and Nuka Cola Victory, just because they're the brightest ones. And I want to put them in a bathtub for one of my builds, right? So you do need the contraptions DLC to build these machines. If you don't have that, you have to get that. You obviously can't do it. I don't use mods, so this is really if you obviously use mods, and you don't obviously need to do this, you'll just get a mod that you can just spawn Nuka Cola Quantums, obviously, right? But for the guys that don't use mods like myself, then this is a way. So it's a little bit less tedious than going around to the various spawn locations, and they only kind of spawn every now and then anyway, right? So, but anyway, let me show you what this machine is. If you haven't seen my other video, I'll show you how to build it and what pieces to use. Now I've seen people use various pieces like the lifts and that. Don't use the lifts. You want basically whatever you duplicate, and this machine can really duplicate anything. Clothes. I've duplicated clothes. I've duplicated the Fat Man or the Nuka the Nuka mini launcher. So whatever fits in the machine pretty much can be duplicated. You can even duplicate power arm if you want, but there's a better glitch for doing that, right? So let me just put this away quickly. And what I do is, just to be safe, is I store. I don't just continuously duplicate. I want to make sure and keep count of. Sometimes with the glitch, you can lose. You can lose quantities, especially if there's quantities of more than one. So try not to duplicate quantities more than one. So like if you have 10 quantity of 10 of fusion cores, for instance, it causes some problems. So you want to duplicate one item at a time, so one fusion core, or one Nuka Cola, or if it starts to get more than that, then you kind of want to just put them aside in a box like what I do. So as you can see, I've managed to duplicate another 17 in a small amount of time, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes tops, right? Which isn't too bad. So I'm just going to put these away, and then I'm going to leave it at 10. And there you go, I've already got 63, so I'm getting closer to my target here. So I'm just going to do a save here quickly, just so I can, just in case I lose them and I have to reload or anything like that. So you might want to do that. Okay, I'll show you quickly. So let's talk a little bit about the contraption I built here. Like I said, I used to mess around with those lifts and stuff, but I found certain items like mini nukes got stuck in them, so I came up with this design where it really just goes in a circle. So you probably need a somewhat large. This is Overbird Station, so I don't really have a large piece of land, but you're going to need a piece of land where you can build something flat. As you can see, I have this vacuum hopper. So I have two. So basically both sides look the same. So in order to create that perfect rectangle, you're going to have to just duplicate both sides. So that's kind of what I did. At the corner, I just have a right angle or left angle, depending which way you're looking. I have a power conveyor to power it up. I have one half a conveyor, I have a vacuum hopper, and then I have a storage conveyor, and then I have another left or right angled corner there. That's kind of what you want there, right? So, and again, if you look at this side, it's just pretty much just turned around, same kind of thing, right? Now, it's useful to have two vacuum hoppers, because what happens is when you first off start, especially if you've only got one single item that you're trying to duplicate, or two of those items. Let's say you only had two fusion cores. That's kind of what I start with normally, so you can kind of try and duplicate this side, and then you can run over here and you can kind of duplicate on this side as well. So it gives you two opportunities until you get a whole load of them coming through, and then you can just stay at one side because it's really too much effort to start going both sides. So let's get this started here quickly. So like I said, you need the contraptions DLC. Just build it. Don't build anything goes up and down. We can go with 10 quantum newcoms there, and you'll notice they'll fall over, and it's easier if they're actually on the side versus standing up. But what I do is first person mode doesn't really work that well, so don't do it like this because it doesn't seem to work very well for me at least. And then what I do is, as it's about halfway in, I grab it. So you don't want to grab it too early or too late. You kind of want it to not make a sound when you grab it. I find that's the most successful for me. If somebody knows exactly the sound it makes, or if it doesn't make a sound, just comment in the comment section for me. But I find if you grab it too late, you're grabbing it from the conveyor, and then you're not actually duplicating it, and you'll find it'll land up in your inventory. Just put it back, and then stay again. Like I said, if you wanted, you could run over here, and you can get double opportunity to duplicate. You run on this side, and you start duplicating or trying to duplicate, and you can do it kind of twice as fast in a way, and then you can run back on this side here, and then keep on doing it again, right? So, but once you've got a fair number of items on your conveyor, you really don't need to run back and forth. But if you only have two items, then I tend to do that, right? So wait for it to go halfway in, grab it. Obviously, the larger the item, say you're doing the Fat Man, for instance, the mini nuke launchers, you kind of have to let it go halfway in and then you grab it. Some things will get stuck. If it gets stuck, you're probably not going to be able to duplicate it. If it's too small, like ammunition is really difficult because, again, it's in quantities, right? And I find sometimes you'll lose that. So sometimes, let's say you had 100 pieces of ammo as a unit, and then when you duplicate, you only get two, and you've actually lost 98, for instance, right? So you've got to be careful that doesn't happen. So that's why I said this only really works well if it's single items, right? Oh, I didn't want to do that. And then every now and then I'll just check my inventory. If I have any, I put it back. Just put it back in there and let it continue. Yeah, you don't want to grab it like that. So if it disappears from that conveyor storage box, you saw it turn highlight green, that means you kind of just grabbed it straight out and it didn't actually duplicate. So that's not what you want. Also, the other message you'll receive is you will get a message saying item has been removed from conveyor, even though you didn't grab it from the red. I'll see if I can show you that. Again, when you see that, it didn't duplicate. So it's really, I think the time it duplicates is when you can grab it, when it is you don't get any noise. I think that's when it kind of duplicates, but not every time. It's really inconsistent, but it's certainly a lot less tedious than running around trying to find these things. But do look at the list. There is a long list of where the quantums are. There's one in they're all over. There's the ones in Mass Fusion. There's certainly around Nuka World. Obviously, the bottle plant. The other places I found there is in the pack, in that auditorium that the packs are hiding. There's one under the counter there. So do look at the list. There is a location list of where you can find these guys. And obviously, if you're looking at this, it's probably too late. But normally I just sell the stuff. I don't really care about it in the beginning. But now I want to fill up a bathtub full of these guys, and now I have to try and find them or try and duplicate them. But if you start in a new game play, then yeah, just save these guys and place them somewhere. Some people do that anyway. And then you might even have, enough to do at least a few bathtubs, and you don't have to duplicate. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you've got any questions about the contraptions, or is there's something that's not clear, just let me know. Otherwise, please go ahead and hit the like button if you found it useful, and if you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, as it does help the channel out. Thanks for watching. Let's quickly just see how many I duplicated in that short period of time I made the video. Let's just do a quick count here. So, like I said, every now and then I'll just pull everything off the conveyor and keep track of the count, just to make sure you are making being successful and making headway. Yeah, otherwise you might just be wasting your time. Okay, so let's just go here quick. So as you can see in the short amount of the video I made five duplications, which isn't bad. And that was like less than probably 10 minutes, or give or take 15 minutes, whatever that was, right? Okay, and you just come back and you just do it again. And just don't forget to save. Make sure you save now and then, just in case something does go wrong.